Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today's discussion is on the 10 fundamental duties of a Muslim in the light of Quran 4, verse 36. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. O Allah, guide us to the straight path. O Allah, as we gather here to listen to the glorious Quran, make its lessons beneficial to all of us. Accept our prayers in this sacred month of Ramadan. O Allah, protect us from evildoers and protect us from committing sins in this month and beyond. Have mercy on our departed scholars, parents, brothers, friends, and neighbors. O Allah, guide us to interpret the glorious Quran correctly in the way you want and not the way we desire. As I've introduced, today's discussion is on the 10 fundamental duties of a Muslim in the light of Quran 4, verse 36. I would like to take the Arabic verse before the translation, commentary, and what the classical scholars, counseling, and psychological tapes will follow, or we are going to say. Allah said, وَاعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا وَبِذِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينِ والجار ذي القربى والجار الجنب والصاحب بالجنب وابن السبيل وما ملكت أيمانكم إن الله لا يحب من كان مختالا فخورا. Allah says, worship Allah and associate nothing with Him, and be good to parents, relatives, orphans, the needy, the near neighbor, the distant neighbor, the companion by your side, the traveler, and those under your care. Indeed, Allah does not love those who are arrogant and boastful. Looking at the first command, or looking at the first duty that Allah has initiated in this particular verse of the Holy Quran, He said, worship Allah alone. That is Tawheed. We are expected to worship Allah alone, not associating any partner with Him. But if you look at it very, very well, He has listed different things, up to 10 different things. But He has used a strategy by starting with worshiping Allah alone. That is taqdim. That is what we call prioritization. In the course of mentioning or listening something, you can prioritize the big one, followed by the next one in rank, followed by the next one up to the least one. So Allah started with worship Him alone. He started with Himself. The verse begins with the right of Allah before mentioning human relationships. This shows that moral conduct is rooted in spiritual consciousness. Worship here includes devotion, obedience, sincerity, and reliance upon Allah. That is what we are talking about. If we say worship Allah alone, we are talking about you devote your things to Him. You should have that uncircumscribed obedience to Him, and you should have that sincerity to Him, and you rely upon Him that He can protect you, He can give you. Nobody will give you except Him, and nobody will harm you except Him, except what He has ordained that will happen to you. This is what we are talking about, worshiping Allah alone. So, looking at the classical tafsir scholars' position, that is, what are the classical position on this? There are Quranic commentators that they have positions. That is classical Quranic interpreters or commentators. I'm going to start with the leader among them is At-Tabari. At-Tabari said, Allah begins with His right because it is the foundation of all duties. Beginning with the right of Allah is the foundation of everything that we are doing. We should understand this. This is what this Quranic commentator is saying. We are going to look at the second Quranic commentator, Ibn Kathir. He said, Tawheed is the greatest obligation and the basis of salvation. If you don't have Tawheed, then you don't have the fundamental things that we are expected. So Tawheed is the greatest obligation that you are expected to know, and the basis of salvation for you to be intercede in the cause in the hereafter. You have to have this Tawheed. You have to have this oneness of Allah. You have to testify that yes, Allah can do His things alone, without any support from his servant, without a support from His creation, and so This is what we are expected to do. And not only this, Al-Qurtubi, one of the Quranic commentators, also have a position. He said, sincere worship purifies intention and behavior. If you have that sincere worship, it purifies your intention, and not only this, it purifies your behavior. Let us look at the counseling and the psychological teachings in this particular portion that we've mentioned. Number one, provides meaning and purpose, reduce existential anxiety. If you provide meaning and purpose to anything that you are doing, it reduces existential anxiety. It reduces anxiety that you will face or you are facing. And not only this, it builds resilience through Allah. If you trust in Allah, it builds your trust. That is, build trust through trust in Allah, or build resilience through trust in Allah. That is the next thing that we're expected to learn. If you build trust in Allah, it builds your resilience. It helps you to be resilient in what you are doing, because building trust in Allah entails many things. Number three, it promotes inner coherence and psychological stability. So if you trust in Allah, it gives you that inner coherence. It gives you that psychological stability. You won't be disturbed because Allah is there for you. Because you have what? You have taken everything to Him. You have just prepared your mind that He is the giver, He is the provider, He can do it for you. Nobody will harm you, and nobody will give you except what Allah has willed, or except what Allah has ordained for you. The next teaching of the verse is kindness to parents. So if we look at the commentary of this particular portion, after the right of Allah comes the right of parents. That is to say that the right of parent is bigger than the following right that we are going to mention. So in different verses of the Holy Quran, Allah has done this style. After mentioning His name, He will just follow it with the mention of parents. So parents have that position. So after the right of Allah comes the right of parent, because of their dignity, because of they are the source of our coming to this world. They are the source of our life and soul. So acknowledging their sacrifices in upbringing and care. So Allah acknowledges the sacrifices of parents and their sacrifice in upbringing, in bringing us, that is to take care of us. Allah acknowledges their what? Their sacrifice in taking care of us, in looking after us right from the cradle up to this level of life. So that is the next thing we're expected to understand. Kindness includes respect. We are expected to be respectful to our parents. Obedience in lawful matters. We should be obedient to our parent in any lawful matter that our parent asks us to do. It is obligate. In fact, it's obligatory upon each and every one of us to follow what the parent has or have said. You must do it for them. If that thing is not in a lawful whatever, if it is a lawful matter, you must do it. Unless if that thing is not lawful. If your parents say that you should take alcohol, or you should take cigarette, or you should have fornication, you cannot, or you should worship idol, you can't follow what they said here. You cannot say that it's an obedience, let me follow what. No, here they are bringing things that are contradicting the verses of the Holy Quran. You cannot obey them in this aspect. But if they say, go and buy water for me, go and fetch water, go and source money for me, go and do this for me, you must do it. This is obligatory. And not only this, in the course of interacting with your parent, there is what we call gentle speech. You must watch your utterances. And not only this, financial support, that is very, in fact, that is very obligatory upon each and every of us. Financial support. If your parents are in need of your financial support, you must give them. And emotional care. They are in anxiety, they are disturbed. What are you supposed to do? You are expected to calm them, you are expected to do things that will support them at that material time. What are the positions of these classical scholars or commentators on this particular portion that mentioned? We are going to start with Ibn Kathir here. He said, their right follows immediately after Allah's right. That is what Ibn Kathir said. Wherever you go, you should understand this. The right of your parents follows immediately after Allah's right. And the next commentator is Al-Qurtubi. He said, kindness includes compassion, service, and gratitude. You must have that compassion toward your parent. You must give them that service that they want from you, and you must understand the gratitude. You must be gratitude to them. You must show them that portion. You must show them that good words, gratitude. You must be gratitude to your parents because this is what you have been commanded to do. Classical tafsir position again says this particular portion of the Holy Quran encourages forgiveness and healing of family wounds. So it builds emotional security and identity stability. It reduces guilt and family conflict and so. So if you understand this, if you are kind to your parent, it reduces anxiety, it builds a relationship, it concretizes relationship, and this is what expected to do. Next thing that we are expected to note is this: maintaining kinship ties. Maintaining kinship ties, silatul rahim. That is, you should maintain that kinship ties between you and your parent, between you and your siblings, between you and your relatives, between you and neighbors, and so. So, if you take a look at this Quranic explanation very well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his wisdom started with Sigatul Amr. He said, Wa'budullah. That is Sigatul Amr, command structure, that you should do this, you should do this, you should do that. And not only that, he has arranged all the explanation in logical sequencing. Close relations mentioned before distance ones. We are going to see it in this particular portion of the Holy Quran. So, looking at this portion that Allah said, maintaining kinship ties between you and your relatives, here is what the commentators say. Relatives form the first social network. Your relatives form the first social network. You should understand this point. Your relatives should form your first social network. You should interact with them first before going out. Maintaining kinship strengthens unity. If you maintain kinship, it strengthens unity and it strengthens compassion and social stability among you. So, what are we really saying? We are talking about relatives, we are talking about close people to you. Allah said, maintaining kinship ties helps the person that observe that. That is to say, that you are expected to relate, the first people that you are expected to relate with them are your relatives. These are the first social network that you are expected to understand. The position of Islamic scholars or commentators about this particular portion that we've mentioned, let us start with At-Tabari. At-Tabari said, maintaining ties prevents social fragmentation. If you maintain ties with your relatives, with your neighbors, and so, it prevents social fragmentation. You may not experience that. And Ibn Ashur said, Islam reinforces social cohesion through family bonds. He said, in this particular portion of the Quran that we have said, Allah said we should maintain kinship. Ibn Ashur has his position by saying that Islam reinforces social cohesion. Yes, Islam has reinforced social cohesion through family bonds. If there is family bond, then that social cohesion will be there also. Let us look at the counseling teachings. Uh, Prevent loneliness and social isolation. The more you keep that kinship, the more you keep that kinship ties, the more you respect people, you visit them, you show concern to them, it prevents loneliness and social isolation because you reach out to them, you are going to them, you are showing that love to them. So it helps you to prevent loneliness. You know, loneliness in psychology is a problem, and social isolation is a problem. So in Islam, for you to reach out to people, it helps you it helps you from what? Social isolation. And not only this, it builds emotional support system. So the more you interact with people, it builds emotional support system. And not only that, it encourages reconciliation and forgiveness. For you to pay visit to your relatives, to your friends, to your siblings, to your parents, to your co-workers, it helps a lot. It encourages reconciliation and forgiveness. This is one of the teachings that we're expected to note. And not only this, another teaching is care for orphans. That is the next thing, that is the next portion of the verse. Allah says we should care for orphans because he said, وَعَبُدُ اللَّهَ وَلَا تُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا وَبِذِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى. That is orphans. He said, وَالْيَتَامَى, you should care for orphans. Orphans symbolize vulnerability and social responsibility. Islam repeatedly emphasizes their protection to ensure justice and compassion. This is what Islam said. We must care for them. If we have orphans in our family or in our neighbors, we should extend our hands of fellowship to them in such a way that we can help, either by paying their school fees, either by buying clothes for them, either by buying books for them, either by accommodating them, either by giving them food or anything that will support them. This is what we're expected to do. We are expected to do. We must have that support system in such a way that we are expected to help our orphans. Let me call on our brothers here. This is a command from Allah. Please look inwards and outward in your family. If you don't have any orphan under your care now, as I'm talking to you now, please extend your hands of fellowship to other neighbors, those that have lost their parents. Pick one and support him. Either you give him what is expected of him, either accommodation, either you support him, give him scholarship in such a way that you pay his school fees, anything that has to do with his schooling, you are going to take care of it. I think this is the beauty of Ramadan that we are talking about. Supporting orphans is one of the things that we're expected to note. What is the position, or what are the positions of classical scholars on this thing that we have just said? Let us take Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir said, guardians must protect their wealth and upbringing. As you have taken, if you have vowed or if you have promised to take care of an orphan, then the next thing that you're expected to do is to protect their wealth. And not only protecting their wealth, you protect their upbringing. The way you are going to take care of your child, so you are expected to take care of that particular orphan that you have picked in a community or from your relatives also. Let us look at what Qutubi said. Imam Qutubi, one of the Quranic commentators, says, caring for orphans often the hearts and develop compassion. If you care for orphans, it softens your heart. It softens your heart. It develops compassion. The more you look at him, it gives you that softness and it gives you that compassion. And not only this, there are teachings that we are expected to take, counseling teachings from this portion that we have just mentioned. Encourages, if you support orphans, it encourages trauma-informed caregiving. It encourages trauma-informed caregiving. It's just like you are giving care to somebody that has been downtrodden, or a downtrodden individual. Somebody has experienced trauma also. And not only this, it builds empathy in emotional intelligence. So supporting an orphan builds empathy. You know, empathy is putting yourself in somebody's shoe. It's just like you put yourself that you died and somebody came and took care of your child also. You should be able to at least put yourself in somebody's shoe. That is to say that if you take care of somebody's children, somebody tomorrow will take care of your own. So if you put yourself in that situation, it helps a lot. It concretizes the emotional intelligence. It helps you in knowing your emotion, even if you are not alive also. It promotes protective and nurturing behavior. So for you to take care of an orphan, it promotes protective and nurturing behavior. It gives you that nurturing behavior. Wherever you go, you'll be contented and you'll be happy that yes, you have taken care of someone. Let us look at the next portion, or the next duty that we are expected to know. Helping the needy. That is the next duty. For you to help the needy ones is part and parcel of the duties that we are expected to understand. But let us take a look at the Quranic wisdom, at the Quranic things that Allah has mentioned. There is conjunction repetition, that is apaf. From this, wa abudullah wa la tushriku bi wa bil walidaini ihsana wa and something of that nature. Repetition, it gives you sense of conjunction. It gives you sense of repetition, that something of that nature happens and it happens for a purpose. And not only this, the needy include those lacking sufficient resources. When we say you support the needy ones, those that lack sufficient resources. And not only these ones, helping them promote social balance a moral responsibility. That is helping the needy one. People that are in need of your support, you are expected to look at this aspect so that they can solve that particular problem of moral responsibility also. Let us look at the position of these commentators. At-Tabari says, he said, for you to take care of a needy one, it includes anyone unable to meet basic needs. Anyone that could not meet his basic needs, you can at least extend your hands of fellowship to him in such a way that that person will solve his particular problem. That is supporting the needy one. Your friend is in need of 1,000, 2,000, 10,000. Your wife is in need of 500, 1,000, 10,000. Your mother is in need of that. An indigent person close to that is in need of 1,000, 2,000. Extend your hands of fellowship to that person so that he should benefit from your wealth. And not only this, Ibn Kasir said, charity purifies wealth and character. The more you give out your money, it purifies wealth and it purifies character. What are the teachings that we're going to, the counseling teachings that we're going to get or figure out from this particular portion of the Holy Quran? Giving increases happiness and life satisfaction. So if you give out, it increases your happiness and it gives your life, in fact, it supports your life satisfaction. Reduces social resentment and despair. So if you give out something, it reduces social resentment and despair. And not only this, it promotes compassion and social cohesion. The more you give out, it promotes compassion and it builds social cohesion. The next thing that we are going to see in this verse is this: kindness to the neighbor, to your near neighbor, to the near neighbor, to the person that is close to you. And that's it. We should be kind to them. So let us still look at the style of the Holy Quran. Allah talks about what? He talks about binary contracts. Binary contracts. That is tibaq. This versus this versus this. This is what Allah said. Near versus distance neighbor. He has mentioned this in this particular portion of the Holy Quran. Generality, he has mentioned something of that nature. That is umum. It talks about everybody. Allah mentions something in this particular verse, but it conglomerates everybody. It consists of many things. Categories include all social groups. So what Allah mentioned in this verse, it concerns all social groups. You should extend your hands of fellowship to them. So kindness to the near neighbor says the near neighbor may be one who is physically close to you, a relative, a fellow believer. Their rights are emphasized because daily interaction increases mutual responsibility. So you can support a believer or a non-believer, somebody that accepted your religion or somebody that did not accept your religion. You are expected to extend that hands of fellowship to him. You should not harm that person. You should not be stingy to that person. You are expected to extend your hands of fellowship to him so that he can benefit from what Allah has given to you. What are the positions of classical scholars on this particular portion of the Quran? Let us take Al-Qurtubi. Imam Qurtubi said, for you to have extended your hands to somebody that is nearby you, that somebody is close to you, it includes relatives and Muslim neighbors. Relatives, either Muslim or non-Muslim, they are relatives. You cannot do away with that. Either close or people that are not close to you, that they are relatives. So Muslim neighbors, or even if they are not Muslim neighbors, you can extend your hands of fellowship to them, because this is what the verse of the Holy Quran is saying. Let us look at what Ibn Kathir said about this matter. He said neighbors possess significant right in Islam. If you have neighbors, be they are Muslim, non-Muslim, you are expected to extend your hands of fellowship to them. This is what Islam said. So not only this, what are the counseling teachings from this particular portion that I've mentioned? The more you help your neighbor, it builds safe and supportive environment. That's what you're expected to understand. It prevents conflicts and community stress. The more you extend your hands of fellowship to your neighbor, it prevents conflict. In fact, it prevents community stress. And not only this, it encourages cooperation and mutual assistance between you and your neighbor. So extend your hands of fellowship to your neighbor. As I'm talking to you now, extend your hands of fellowship to your neighbor. It helps a lot. Not only this, let us look at the next verse of the Holy Quran. Allah said, you should be kind to the distant neighbor. Somebody that's not close to you, you should be kind to him. This is what Allah said. So if you look at this particular portion of the Quran, Allah has mentioned there is what we call tafsir, that is detailed enumeration of things. Allah specified groups are listed rather than summarize. He has listed wa abdullah wa la tushriku bi shay'a wa bil walidaini ihsana wa bidhil qurba wal yatama wal masakin. He has listed them one after the other instead of summarizing. No, he mentioned them one after the other. So we are expected to be kind to our distant neighbor. These include neighbors who are not relatives, not Muslim, or socially distant. So we should understand this. Neighbors that are not Muslim, neighbors that are not in our relatives, we should extend our hands of fellowship to them. The verse broadens ethical responsibility beyond family boundaries. We should understand this. You should not just focus on your family, but rather you are expected to extend your hands of fellowship to your brothers, even those that are not close to you. You can close as in your tribal people or your close relatives. No, you can extend your hands of fellowship to them even if they are not your close relatives. Scholars are saying that kindness applies to all neighbors. So Imam Tabari said kindness applies to all neighbors. If you have neighbors, be it Muslim, non-Muslim, relative, non-relative, you are expected to extend your hands of fellowship to them. This is the teaching of the Holy Quran. We should understand this. Quran 4 verse 36. We should extend our hands of fellowship to them. And even as she said, it demonstrates Islam universal moral ethics. The more you extend your hands to people, it demonstrates what? Islam universal moral ethics. So we should not circumscribe. We should not just handpick people and say, no, our religion says we should extend our hands of fellowship to anybody that is close to us, people that are even distant to us. We should extend our hands of fellowship to them. What are the counseling teachings that we are going to get from this portion that we mentioned? So, for you to have supported your relatives or a neighbor that is not close to you, it encourages tolerance and it builds peaceful coexistence between you and them, and it reduces prejudice and social tension. So if you help, it reduces tension. And not only this, it promotes inclusive communities. So the more you give, it helps. And not only this, another portion of the Quran, Allah said, good treatment of the companion by your side. You should understand this. This includes spouses. You should do good treatment to her. This includes friends, good treatment to them. This includes co-workers, good treatment to them. This includes classmates, good treatment to them. And this includes travel companions. You should extend your hands of goodness to them. Good treatment of the companion by your side, maybe in a vehicle, maybe in an aeroplane, maybe in an office, maybe in a market, maybe neighborhood. Oh, these things. This is what Quran says. You should have that good treatment to them. This is the teaching of the Holy Quran. Quran 4 verse 36. For the sake of Ramadan, we should be good neighbors. For the sake of Ramadan, we should change so that we can extend our hands of fellowship to people. The verse emphasizes ethical behavior in daily relationship. We should understand this. And not only this, what are the position of classical Islamic scholars? Ibn Kasir said it includes spouses and companions in any context. Any context, we should understand it. Imam Qurtubi said it extends to anyone closely related or associated to you. You should extend your hands of fellowship to them. And not only this, the counseling teaching that we're going to get from this is this: it promotes empathy and communication skills. It improves relationship satisfaction. It encourages emotional intelligence. So we should understand this. And not only this, helping the traveler, Ibn Sabil. The traveler are vulnerable due to what? Separation from their support system. Islam promotes hospitality in a system. We should understand this. Scholars are saying that even wealthy travelers may require assistance. You can extend your hands of fellowship to them. Helping them is part of social compassion. We should understand this. And not only this, counseling teachings that we are going to get from this, it supports social inclusion and safety. It reduces stress for displaced person. It encourages empathy toward strangers. So the next thing that we are going to get is kindness to dependence and avoiding arrogance. We should understand this. We should be kind to our close relatives. The verse concludes by commanding kindness towards those under one's authority and warning against what? Against arrogance. Pride leads to oppression and social injustice. We should understand it. We should not do that. And not only this, scholars say it includes servants, workers, and dependents. Arrogance corrupts character and leads to wrongdoing. And not only this, it encourages counseling teaching says it encourages humility and self-awareness. It prevents abuse power of power. It promotes healthy leadership and